A wounded mountain lion leaves her dying kitten on Lily's doorstep, amber eyes pleading for help. Why would this wild predator trust a stranger with its child? Despite her fear, Lily couldn't look away from the mother's desperate, almost human gaze. Winter had settled deep in the snowy, wind-swept wilderness of northern Montana. Lily Harper stood at her cabin window, watching frost creep across the glass like icy ferns. At 25, she had sought refuge here, in the stillness of isolation. The solitude had been her salve after heartbreak. Volunteering for a wildlife monitoring program had been her excuse to disappear. But the wild had become her way back to herself. The morning air was bitter, the sky above a dull sheet of brushed steel. Lily zipped up her heavy parka, ready to check the wolf tracks she'd seen yesterday, closer to her cabin than usual. The cold greeted her like a slap as she opened the door, wind cutting her cheeks with invisible knives. Her breath puffed into the air in cloudy bursts. And then she saw it. A massive mountain lion stood only a few feet away, its tawny coat dusted with sparkling snow crystals. It didn't move. Its powerful muscles lay still beneath the fur, amber eyes locked on hers, glistening impossibly, with something like tears. That gaze pinned her in place, full of something raw and intelligent. Her heart thundered in her chest, one hand gripping the doorframe in terror. Then she noticed what dangled from the predator's jaws. A limp, lifeless kitten, tiny and still, like a toy forgotten in the snow. Neither of them moved. Then, in a gesture so gentle it stole Lily's breath, the mountain lion lowered its head and placed the kitten on the porch. It stepped back, crouching low in the snow, eyes never leaving Lily's face. "Oh my God," Lily whispered, barely audible even to herself. The kitten didn't move, except for the faintest rise and fall of its tiny sides, still breathing but only just. Snowflakes collected on its small body, melting slowly into its fur. Fear and awe battled inside Lily. Her instinct screamed to slam the door, to call for help, to run. This wasn't natural. Mountain lions didn't approach humans, let alone ask for help. And yet, here it was. A mother risking everything in a gesture that defied logic. The lion made a deep sound in its throat, not a growl but something lower, a rumble of anguish. Its eyes, still locked with Lily's, held something that begged for mercy. Lily's hand shook on the wooden frame. Was this some trick of territorial behavior? Could it be a trap? But the kitten's weak breathing tugged at something deep in her soul. The mountain lion could have attacked at any moment, yet it crouched silently, waiting. Its tail twitched once. Then, astonishingly, it bowed its head. The gesture sent chills down Lily's spine that had nothing to do with the cold. Against every survival instinct, something inside her softened. Compassion, maybe. Foolishness, perhaps. But it held her there, unmoving. The kitten's body was barely hanging on. Blood matted its side where a gash had opened across its ribs. Still, the mother lion didn't budge. She watched, a silent sentinel carved of gold and ice. Lily swallowed hard. "Okay," she whispered. "I'll try to help." She wasn't sure who she was speaking to, the kitten or the lion watching her like a silent guardian. Slowly, like approaching something fragile and explosive, Lily removed her wool scarf and knelt. The lion tensed but didn't strike. Gently, Lily wrapped the kitten, feeling how little weight it carried. "I'm going to take your baby inside," she murmured, standing. "I promise I'll do my best." Her boots crunched on the snow as she backed toward the cabin. The lion remained crouched, amber eyes reflecting the weak winter light. Inside, Lily moved quickly, layering blankets near the wood stove and placing the kitten in the warmth. Up close, it was worse than she feared. Ribs protruded like bones beneath paper. The wound was angry and red, infection already setting in. She grabbed her phone, fingers trembling, and called Emma. It nearly slipped from her hands twice. "Emma," she said when her friend answered, "I have a mountain lion kitten in my cabin. Its mom brought it to me. It's hurt. Bad. What do I do?" There was silence, then Emma's voice. You have a what? A mountain lion kitten, the mother, she brought it. I think she wants me to save it. Another pause, then a shift in Emma's tone. Okay, listen. Keep it warm, mix honey and water, just a little, and try to feed it. I'll come as soon as I can. But the roads are rough. It might take hours. Lily exhaled shakily and did, as instructed, mixing the solution and drawing it into a small eyedropper. The snow began to fall again, heavy flakes swirling past the window. The mother lion hadn't left. She remained outside, her form barely visible, eyes still fixed on the cabin's light. Your mom's still out there, Lily murmured to the kitten as she gently cleaned the wound with warm water. The kitten hissed weakly, flinching under her touch. I know it hurts, but we have to clean it. When she offered the dropper, the kitten's tiny tongue flicked at the liquid, accepting the sweetness in shallow sips. A fragile hope stirred in Lily's chest. Night fell quickly. Darkness wrapped the forest in shadows and silence. The cabin stood alone, a flicker of warmth in a sea of cold. Lily checked the window often. The mother lion hadn't moved. Snow dusted her like a statue carved from the land itself. Her amber eyes glowed like twin stars. She's not leaving you, Lily whispered, stroking the kitten's head. And I won't either. She named the kitten Ember, for the glowing coals in the stove and the fragile spark of life she refused to let die. Somewhere in the dark, a wolf howled. Aspen, Lily decided that was the lion's name, turned toward the sound, ears twitching. But she didn't move. Lily settled beside the nest of blankets, watching Ember breathe, wondering what twist of fate had brought a wild mother to her door. Maybe it was instinct, maybe desperation, or maybe, just maybe, it was something more. A bridge between two worlds usually separated by fear and misunderstanding. Snow continued to fall outside, blanketing everything in silence. Inside by the fire, a life too small to fight alone was held between the strength of two mothers, one wild, one human, both broken in their own ways, both willing to risk everything. The days blurred into a rhythm. Each morning, Lily's first thoughts were of Ember, not herself. She checked his breathing, refreshed his warmth, fed him the honey solution Emma had recommended. Here you go, little fighter, she whispered, placing a drop on his tongue. While Ember slept, Lily watched Aspen through the frosted window. The lion paced sometimes. Other times she lay still for hours, eyes on the cabin. When hunger pushed her, she disappeared into the woods and returned with small prey, rabbits, squirrels, before resuming her silent watch. She trusts me, Lily told Ember one morning, brushing a finger along his soft, healing fur. And I won't let her down. Stroking his fur gently, Lily whispered, I hope I deserve it. But as the days passed, worry grew alongside hope. The gash on Ember's side wasn't healing properly. Despite Lily's careful cleaning and the antibiotic cream Emma had dropped off, the wound looked angry, swollen and red at the edges. Night, she would wake to check on him, her heart stuttering when his breathing seemed too shallow. On the 5th day, Emma returned, bringing Sarah Cole, a wildlife rescuer from the county conservation office. Sarah's weathered face was serious as she examined Ember, her experienced hands gentle but thorough. Looks like a coyote attack, she said, inspecting the wound. They go after the young ones when they can. He's lucky his mama got him away. Will he make it? Lily asked, her voice barely audible. Sarah's kind but realistic eyes met hers. Hard to say, but you've done well so far. She paused, glancing toward the window where Aspen's form lingered at the edge of the forest. You understand, right? If he survives, he has to go back. He belongs with her. Lily nodded, though her heart squeezed painfully. I know. I'm not trying to keep him. And that mother won't wait forever, Sarah added. Mountain lions aren't, known for their patience with humans. You're witnessing something extraordinary here. After they left, Lily sat beside Ember's nest, sketching his delicate features in her notebook. She was no expert, just a volunteer documenting wildlife patterns for the local conservation group. Her training hadn't prepared her for nursing, A mountain lion kitten back to health while its mother watched from the tree line. "I don't know if I'm doing this right," she confessed to Ember, who slept fitfully, "but I'm trying." That evening, a blizzard rolled in, the wind howling like a wounded animal as it rattled the cabin's windows. Lily added logs to the fire, keeping the room warm as the temperature outside dropped. She worried about Aspen in the storm, wondering if the mountain lion had found shelter. Near midnight, as the storm reached its peak, Lily dozed in her chair beside Ember. A soft sound woke her. Not the wind, but something else. Ember was stirring, making tiny mewing noises. Lily leaned forward, heart racing, and found one amber eye open, staring directly at her. "Hey there," she whispered, tears springing to her eyes. "You decided to join the party?" The kitten's eye blinked slowly, and his tiny paw stretched out, touching Lily's finger where it rested on the blanket. The simple gesture filled her with a warmth no fire could match. "You're a fighter, little one," she said softly. "Your mom's waiting for you." Through the night, as the storm weakened to gentle snowfall, Lily remained awake, feeding Ember more frequently now that he showed signs of awareness. By dawn, he had opened both eyes and was trying to lift his head, his movements still weak but purposeful. For the first time since finding him on her porch, Lily felt real hope bloom in her chest. She stood at the window as morning light spread across the snow-blanketed clearing. There, emerging from the trees like a spirit, was Aspen, her tawny, coat stark against the white landscape. The mountain lion paused, looking directly at the cabin as if she could see through the walls to her kitten. Lily pressed her palm against the cold glass and whispered, "He's getting stronger. I promise I'll keep trying." Whether it was wishful thinking or something more mysterious, Lily could have sworn the great cat dipped her head slightly before settling into the snow, her patient vigil continuing as the world turned from night to day. 2 weeks later, Ember's wound had healed into a pale pink scar beneath his fuzzy fur. The mountain lion cub had grown stronger, his once feeble limbs now carrying him in wobbly charges across Lily's wooden floor. She watched him bat at the corner of her sketchbook, his tiny claws leaving marks on the pages documenting his recovery. "You're getting too energetic for your own good," Lily laughed, scooping him up. He weighed more now, his little body, solid and warm against her chest. Outside, Aspen had become a daily visitor, her massive form a familiar sight at the edge of the clearing. She no longer hid among the trees but sat openly, watching the cabin with patient amber eyes. Lily had begun leaving bits of meat, against protocol she knew, but something about Aspen's dignified waiting compelled her. Each morning the offering would be gone, and sometimes, if Lily was still enough at the window, she would catch a glimpse of Aspen approaching, her movements fluid and powerful. A tentative trust had grown between them, forged in the frost of a Montana winter. The spell broke with the rumble of an approaching truck. Lily recognized the Wildlife Agency logo before Jake Reed stepped out, his ranger hat pulled low against the cold. "That cat still hanging around?" he asked after the usual greetings, scanning the tree line warily. "She's just checking on her baby," Lily said, arms crossed protectively. Jake sighed, removing his hat. "Look, Lily, the agency's concerned. You're 3 miles from town. People are reporting lion sightings near the elementary school. They've scheduled a relocation for both cats." Relocation. The word felt like ice in her stomach. "Best case scenario," Jake said quietly. "Some folks are pushing for more permanent solutions." That night, Lily couldn't sleep. She watched Ember curled beside her pillow, his tiny ribcage rising and falling. She'd known this day would come. Emma and Sarah had warned her. Ember belonged in the wild, not batting at sketchbook pages in a human cabin. "You were never mine to keep," she whispered, brushing a finger across his spotted fur. Morning arrived with crystal clarity, the kind of brightness that only comes with deep cold. Lily packed a small crate with Ember's blanket and the little ball he'd grown fond of chasing. Her eyes stung as she placed him inside, his confusion evident as the door latched. "I'm sorry, buddy, it's time to go home." She bundled herself against the cold and began hiking into the forest, following a familiar trail winding through pines heavy with snow. Every step crunched loudly, announcing her presence to the watchful wilderness. She felt exposed, vulnerable, a human carrying something precious into a world where she didn't belong. In a clearing ringed by ancient pines, Lily stopped. She knelt in the snow, her jeans soaking through, and opened the crate door. Ember hesitated, nose twitching at the rush of unfamiliar scents. He looked back at Lily, and she bit her lip hard, to keep from reaching for him. A movement at the edge of the clearing drew both their attention. Aspen appeared like a golden ghost among the trees, her eyes locked on the small form in the crate. She padded forward cautiously, muscles rippling beneath her coat. Lily's heart pounded. She forced herself to step back, giving them space. Ember ventured out, his small body dwarfed by the forest. He took tentative steps toward his mother, then suddenly changed direction, scampering to Lily. He rubbed against her leg in a brief nuzzle of warm fur and vibrating purr. A goodbye that nearly broke her. Then he bounded back to Aspen, who greeted him with a gentle nudge. The mother lion looked up, locking eyes with Lily for a long, still moment. In that gaze, Lily felt something pass between them, a quiet understanding, maybe even gratitude. Without a sound, Aspen turned, guiding Ember deeper into the forest. Their forms merged with the shadows until Lily could no longer distinguish them. The clearing felt impossibly empty. She stood alone, the crate at her feet, a hollowness expanding. In her chest, she had done the right thing. She knew that. But as she turned back toward the cabin, every step felt heavier than the last. The forest kept its secrets close, and Lily could only hope that somewhere among the ancient pines, a mother and child were finding their way home. The world seemed to shrink in Ember's absence. The cabin walls echoed with phantom sounds, the scratch of claws on wooden floors, the soft mewing that once filled quiet evenings. Lily found herself pausing sometimes, listening for noises that no longer existed, her hand reaching for a warm body that wasn't there. Spring came slowly to Montana, melting the snow in gradual surrender. Lily returned to her tracking work, documenting wolf movements and checking trail cameras. Her notebooks filled with observations, but her margin sketches told another story. Tawny fur, amber eyes, a mother's fierce protection. "You've got quite the fixation," Emma remarked one afternoon, flipping through Lily's sketchbook. Over tea. "These mountain lions are in everything now," Lily smiled, running her finger along the edge of a particularly detailed drawing. "They changed something in me," she admitted, "like they woke up a part that was sleeping." The Wildlife Agency had continued monitoring the forest where Ember and Aspen were released. Occasionally, reports came in. A healthy juvenile, mountain lion with its mother, a trail camera photo under moonlight. Each confirmation loosened something tight in Lily's chest. Seasons turned, summer blazed and faded. Fall painted the mountains in fire colors before giving way to the first dusting of snow. Lily had almost convinced herself the chapter was closed, a strange, beautiful interlude that would fade. Then came the first snow that stuck. Lily woke to a world of white silence. She stepped onto her porch with a mug between her palms. There, at the edge of her porch step, sat 5 pine cones, arranged in a perfect little pile, their scales dusted with snow. Her mug trembled in her hands. No wind had done this. No visitor had come. Then she saw it, a shadow moving between distant trees, too graceful for a deer, too large for a fox. Tawny fur flashed in a shaft of light, then vanished. "Aspen," Lily whispered. That night she left a portion of venison on a rock at the clearing's edge, far enough to respect the wild. By morning, it was gone. Winter settled into a gentle rhythm. Every few weeks Lily found something new. A fan of blue jay feathers, a rabbit's foot by her woodpile, a river stone too smooth to belong here. Each gift arrived after heavy snowfalls, as if Aspen knew when Lily might feel most alone. "It's unprecedented behavior," Sarah Cole said when Lily shared her secret. Mountain lions don't bring gifts. They're solitary predators. Maybe she's not just any mountain lion, Lily replied. Maybe caring for her baby changed her, like it changed me. In January, Lily spotted them both. Ember, no longer a kitten, followed his mother's graceful path along the ridge above the cabin. He paused, staring directly at her, then bounded. After Aspen, Lily's paintings and sketches began attracting attention at the local gallery. People were drawn to the emotion in them, the fierce tenderness in a mother lion's eyes, the vulnerable trust of a wild creature allowing human touch. There's something sacred in these, the gallery owner said. Like you witnessed, something most people never see. Her most cherished piece she kept for herself, a painting of Ember and Aspen in the clearing where she said goodbye. Ember looking back, his mother looking forward. She titled it Winter's Gift and hung it above her desk beside a wooden mountain lion figurine she'd carved during those long nights of waiting. Sometimes at dusk, when the forest held its breath, Lily would sit on her porch and speak softly to the trees, as if Aspen might be listening. You showed me something I needed to remember, she whispered one evening, that wild things can trust, and broken things can heal. A distant mountain lion's call echoed through the valley, rare, haunting, and perfectly timed. Lily smiled, gathering the 3 perfect pine cones she'd found that morning, and added them to her growing collection of gifts from a family that defied nature to remember her. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the story, feel free to comment,